Hey, this is Don Coscarelli, and you are listening to The Skeleton Crew. And a heads up, Dan dies at the end.
Welcome, Boneheads. It is here once again, the iconic classic, The Skeleton Crew Horror Podcast. The podcast that will tickle your funny bone and have you screaming for more. Exclusively at horrorphilia.com with your trio of numbskulls, Dave Z.
Not a whole lot to tell. I'm a pretty simple guy.
Jamie Jenkins.
And the whole time, I'm like, why am I watching this?
And Alex Edwards.
Hi, Mr. Bill? Yeah, asshole.
You are now entering the Bone Zone.
Guys, it is the Skeleton Crew, and here we are. We are going to spend the next 4 shows talking about Friday the 13th. That's something we have not gotten into yet.
What's it called?
Phantasm. Wait, what did I just say?
Awesome. I tried to play along. Jamie tried to play along.
Now, I actually didn't want people to turn this off and be like, okay, I'm done with this.
Fucking clickbait title telling me they're doing Phantasm.
They just can't get off of this shit.
Imagine that, a clickbait podcast.
Oh, we should. We should be like Bloody Disgusting. Like, just do clickbait shows.
Do it. You should say like Stephen King, first podcast interview ever.
Right.
And then be like, it's not this one, but I'm sure he did one somewhere. Moving on.
Yeah, we actually lost first place in the podcast ratings because we didn't have a good title for our show, and Dave had a better one called Sleepaway Camp, and ours was called Hey Yo.
I know.
Yeah, so you actually are... That's why I'm so angry with you before the show started, because you actually cost me first place.
Oh, man.
In July, yep.
That's crazy, huh?
How dare you. Jamie, you should be mad too.
I'm so mad.
I'm the only guy.
Actually, I'm not mad because 3 of my shows made the top 10, so I really have nothing to complain about.
Oh.
See.
Everyone's all happy now without the crew being the forefront of...
4 if you count the crew, duh. So, yeah, I'm in 4 of the...
Wow, she didn't even count the crew. This is really great.
No, that was just... No, that was just a given. I automatically assumed that one's going to be there. That's what that is.
It is, man. That's right. And I'm the only one that can ever knock them off, and it's a fluke when I do it. It's just every now and again. Knock us off, I should say.
I couldn't have any 2 less invested people on this
What are you talking about?
First, Jamie was all about Devour, and then she somehow found something else to be into. You were all about Banana Laser, and now I finally thought I gotcha, and you go ahead and make your own show. So 2 of you are still not... This is not the focus of your life yet.
Whoa. Remember why Exploding Head started. Because you told me I had too many ideas and I needed to start my own show. And then you told me, check it out, have new people on your show, voices that I haven't heard. Yep, and I did both of those things for you.
Oh, right. Now I remember.
I know, and you don't even listen to every show. But I did both of them for you. Too many ideas, start your show, and if you do start a show, get 2 fresh faces on it. Boom, I fucking did both of that for you.
It's all for you, Alex. It's all for you.
Right, but he can care about this one more.
I love this one. It's the Skeleton fucking Crew. It's the best podcast ever. To this day, everywhere I go, if someone says, what podcast? I always say that the Skeleton Crew is the best podcast ever. Anytime someone asks for a recommendation, then I even say, in the stuff before I was there, I said, I didn't come till episode 100. Listen to all that shit. Don't worry about me, I said. I'm an afterthought. I said, listen
the
to
only
that.
one I wear a t-shirt for.
That's right. What? No Banana Laser shirt? Damn.
I mean, other than that one.
You have a Banana Laser shirt?
Nope, I was testing Jimmy.
Oh, because I don't have one.
There is no fucking Banana Laser shirt.
Matt, I love how Matt did like 5 Skeleton Crew shirts, but never got around to doing his own show shirt.
See? Matt's like me. He still praised Skeleton Crew, even over his own show.
You don't have to praise. I just wish that this was your main passion. But it's okay.
Hey, man. I just did what you asked me to do.
I'm the Lone Ranger in that world.
I had too many ideas for this show that required way too much. Right?
Fine. All right. Enough.
Yeah. See, the Skeleton Crew, Alex, you're just too damn good. I can't even attempt to fucking compete in any way, shape, or form. Skelination. That's all I got to say,
Yeah,
man.
once you're in the Skelination,
You're in for life. It's like the NWO.
Yeah, and we've lasted longer than Hogan, Hall, and Nash ever did.
That's for sure.
This is our bizarre intro into the fan, and it's good. This was like a trippy intro that was just all over the place, and that makes sense because this is a trippy movie and probably a trippy franchise. I wouldn't know. You two guys, let's talk a little bit about your experiences with Phantasm, so people know where we're coming from. Jamie,
Yes.
what is your familiarity with this? Let's start with number one, and then I would like to know your familiarity with the entire franchise thus far, since Part 5 is not out right now.
Mainly my familiarity with Phantasm is just having watched it a lot. Since it was released in 1979, it has been around virtually all my life. I mean, not exactly, but close enough. I've just seen it a lot. And for the longest time, the first one was really the only one that I liked. And everyone loved the second one, loved the second one. And I just thought it had a completely different tone from the first one, so I never really got into it. But then in the past several years, since Ravager's been coming along, I've ended up doing retrospectives for a couple of other shows, so I've watched it a lot recently. Well, not recently, but in the last couple of years.
So you've retroed this how many times now?
Twice. Not including this one. And so then I've actually come around to the second one quite a bit. I enjoy it, but for many different reasons. The third and fourth, I have not seen nearly as much. Mainly the first one is the one that I know more than any of the others. The third and fourth one, I've only seen them a few times each, and two of those few being for the respective podcast shows that I did. So I don't have a long history with those. But with the first one, I do. And I have always loved it for the dreamlike quality. I was talking today to Brian, and it could be Argento. If you look at the way the structure is set, like the way the story structure goes, it's very dreamlike. It's very weird. It doesn't completely make sense in all the places. You listen to the music. It's very Italian, at least Italian inspired. And then if you look at the blood itself, it is that bright red Italian blood, that you see. And I can see where this film has some heavy Italian influence. Now, I've never asked Coscarelli that myself, and I don't think I've ever heard him say it. So I don't know how on the mark that is. But if I had to put money down, I would say that he was heavily influenced by Italian horror cinema. And that may be why I like it so much. Do you see what I'm saying, Dave? You're a big Italian guy. Do you feel, or do you see what I'm talking about there?
Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, I was going to, it's one of the notes I took.
Too late!
Bam! I see.
Boy, she stepped on your shit, boy.
That's good, though. But check it out. He is an Italian, too.
Well, so that's right. He is. But I mean...
I know what you're saying. But yeah, I agree.
I didn't even think about that. That makes sense. Does that mean then if you were to make a movie that it would be...
Fuck yeah, I love Argento. Of course.
Trust me, Jamie, it would be like Friday the 13th.
My first movie would be Friday, then I get a bigger budget for the second. Then
Sure.
No, it would be a Halloween film, but we have to get him a red bucket.
Yeah, mine would be like that.
It's no bucket head.
Okay, Dave, so what about part 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, this is what's crazy, is that, and I knew this about Jamie, but because I've heard it before. But it's crazy that we have the same feel about this series, because most people pick 2 over 1. And Jamie, like me, I was always about 1. And the same exact thing. Everybody was all up 2's ass when it came out. And I saw it when it came out. And I liked it, but I always was like, no, I prefer the first one. So that's what's weird. Wow. But
I think it's that Italian feel. I think that really has something to do with it. Particularly for you, it would make sense. I love Italian movies too, so that could be it. I mainly, how I feel about horror though, like true horror. The reason that I don't like Evil Dead 2, the reason I don't like Aliens is because they strip it of the pure horror. And so I feel like Phantasm 2, while it's fun, sort of stripped it of the pure horror that was Phantasm. And although I don't have hatred for Phantasm 2 like I do with Aliens, it's not that extreme, but it was for roughly the same reason.
And it's so weird that you and I both have the same feelings. We all prefer Evil Dead, Alien, and Phantasm over their sequels. And most horror fans, very few, I bet, could say that they prefer all 3 of those over the sequel, because most prefer the others, honestly. So that's crazy.
Yeah, but Jamie's a purist with all that stuff. She will, every time she rates any franchise, it's usually like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's always in order of the appearance.
Except Halloween.
I hadn't noticed that, but that's true.
The same way.
Except for I actually prefer Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead over Night of the Living Dead. So
that's obvious, right?
Most do. Yeah. I only seen Phantasm.
Oh, and then of course there's Jaws 3D, which is the pinnacle of filmmaking.
That's clearly the best of the 3.
Okay, that was a joke for anyone out there who is not familiar. I don't really believe that.
Yeah, if you guys were steaming through all the laughter that followed what her statement was, then
you got to be careful with some people these days. They take you at face value, and you got to.
Oh, I know.
That's for sure. So I only saw part 3 one time, the night it came out at the theater, or the night that it came on video. I forgot which one. I don't know if that was direct to video or it came to the movies. But I've only seen it once, and check it out. I have never, even though I've owned it in one way, shape, or form for years, I've never watched Oblivion Part 4. I just did not get around to it.
Really?
Yep.
Well, you'll see why when you do.
Yeah, there's a reason I haven't rushed to it as well, right? Right, but we'll see. Who knows? Maybe I'll like more than I'm anticipating. I know there's a lot of shit from Part 1 in it, so we'll see.
Huh. Yeah, well, that's cool. Well, I wanted to talk about that. I mean, I guess we could do it now, since we're not really into anything. Supposedly, the original running time of this first movie was 3 hours long, and Don Coscarelli decided that it was, way too long to hold people's attention. So he made tons of cuts to the film. And so the unused footage that was found in the late 90s became the framework for Phantasm 4 Oblivion, which came out in 1998. And they say the rest of the footage is just lost. So how much and how obvious is it that that film is from Part 1, Jamie? And does it blend well when they go back to the normal movie? And do they use it as, is somebody talking about what happened back then and they're showing it? Or do they just sort of make it like as if it's happening then?
No, it's like a flashback, but it's extremely obvious. I mean, it's because the kid, he looks like he did in Part 1.
Wait, he's in Part 4?
Yeah,
Well, see,
it's all the
what
same
happened?
That's what's great about the series, Alex.
Right, yeah. What happened with A. Michael Baldwin is he was in the first one, and then when the studio wanted to make a second one, they told Coscarelli that they can't. They needed a name. They needed a name in the film in order to push it, and so he had to get rid of someone. Well, he wasn't going to get rid of Reddy Bannister, so they pretty much forced him into getting rid of A. Michael Baldwin and replacing him with this kid who was he was a big deal at the time in like TV, like he was a soap star and stuff like that. So they replaced him in the second movie. And then the second movie is what the second movie is, and it's a completely different feel. But like I said, it's fun, but it's totally different. That was part of the reason I had a dislike for it too, was that it wasn't the same actor.
Right. Wait, now, who was replaced? The older brother, the ice cream guy, or the kid?
Michael, the kid.
Okay.
Then went the one who looks like Nellie from Little House on the Prairie. If you guys saw my side by side on the skeleton page, that shit cracks me up. But then when the third one came back around, like when he made the third one, he brought him back, and he has been with the series ever since. Because he never wanted to get rid of him. That was not his idea. It was, all the producers. And so...
Huh. So he came back for 3, 4, and 5?
Yes.
These two fucking guys have something to do with this weird... Oh, wait, here's a weird thing. Now, it says Angus Grimm is in part 5.
What did you call him?
Angus Grimm.
Grim? That's fucking awesome.
Angus Grimm.
Oh, I thought you said Grimm. Grimm.
Yeah.
You're the fucking bleeder.
Scrim.
Scrim?
Boy. Angus.
Boy.
Scrim. SCRIMM.
Oh. Oh, I guess I always blend it like Angus Grimm. Angus...
No, it makes sense because when you have, the first name ending with an S and then the second name beginning with an S, they do kind of blend together. So
yeah, Angus Scrim.
It's Angus Scrim.
Oh, okay. Okay, so now they say he's in part 5, but didn't he die like last year?
Yes.
Now, did he die during filming or something?
I think they had finished. I mean, I want to say they had finished it because this film has been in the works for several years.
Really?
So,
yeah, which might be to its detriment. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
So he's in it fully. That's interesting. Okay.
That's great. Thankfully. Because Alex, let me say this. This is what the attempt in this series is to. You'll respect this. It's to make it. It plays like one long movie. It's like when one ends, the next one picks up. They're true sequels.
Well, that's impossible. The kids are like 50 years older every time they do it.
It doesn't matter. That's the way. Unless I'm wrong about 4, but I mean that's how 1, 2, and 3 are set.
It's like the next day.
Well, there's like there's some time that passes and things that have gone on in between between the films, but they're pretty much it's a continuation.
Huh.
I mean, it's not like. I mean, because if you look at, there's sort of like a more apocalyptic feel as you go later on because they're going from town to town and they're noticing that things. So it's clearly not next day because they have done a lot of traveling, but it is.
It's implied that it's
that it's continued. Yeah, I mean that it's just it keeps going,
which is great. Which is
it's very
series
cool.
Do that?
It's very cool.
Yeah, shit. With all the same characters, nobody fucking does that.
Okay, it's 1979, 1988. I can't find the third one. Wait, let me see.
It was like 90 fucking... I think might have been 90 or 91. Phantasm 3, 1994. Wow.
Okay, wait, do it real quick so we can keep it in our minds. So 79, and how many years later? Let's write it down.
88, right?
So how many is that? 12 years?
11.
11 years?
8 years, sorry.
You're as bad as... Jamie.
It's 8 years.
So,
8 years... 79 and 88? It's 9 years.
Okay, 9 years between 1 and 2? Okay. And how many... What's the third one?
94, so 6 years later.
6 years after that. What about 4?
Let's see. Oh, no, that's 5. Shit.
Oh, 98, right?
That's 5.
No, 98, I know. So 94 to 98?
Wow, what a cool picture that is.
Okay, I'll figure it out. 4 years.
The picture for Phantasm 4, the guy looks like the fucking creeper from Jeepers Creepers.
And what year what year are we in right now? 2016?
Yes, we are.
And how many years is that past 98? 20 years?
Well, 18 years.
So the first one, part 2 is 9 years after 1. The next one is 6 years later. The next one's 4 years later, and the next one's 18 years later. What the fuck took them so long?
Dude, I don't know. My mind's fried from all that fucking math, though.
Did Don Coscarelli, what's it called, the fifth one?
No.
No.
No, but
Really?
he was heavily involved.
They brought everybody back, but he didn't direct it.
Wasn't he that was when he was doing John Dies at the End, isn't it? Like, wasn't he involved in other things?
I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, because remember, they've been filming it over on weekends over the course of like 2 years or something.
That way, that movie too, part 5, because I know in part 1, he kept renting all the filming equipment every Friday and returned it every Monday, and that went on forever. He only recorded on weekends because it was like cheap. So you're telling me they have to resort to that again? 40 years later.
Yeah, Coscarelli hasn't been that busy.
Jesus.
He doesn't do that many movies.
All right, well, let's get into the movie.
Yeah.
This is a pretty fulfilling pre-show, I think. All right, we'll be right back, guys, and we will get into the real review of Phantasm, 1979, the year I was born. We'll be right back.
Hello?
Hi, is Riley Martin there, please?
This is he.
Hi, this is Dave. How you doing?
Dave.
Dave Letterman. Listen, I heard your show on Sirius Monday night, and I thought it was a hoot, and you're an amazing...
Okay, hold him up, Dave.
Yeah.
This is Dave Letterman.
Yes.
How did you get this number?
From Paul Schaefer.
Oh, okay.
And I just want to know you're an amazing talent, and if we can, I'd love to do some things with you. The deal is, Paul Schaefer's also been abducted.
A lot of people have.
You know Paul Schaefer, right?
I believe that he is your sidekick.
Yeah. He claims he was butt-fucked by a Martian.
Yeah.
By the way, you've got a very sexy voice. I just want to say that right now. Do you mind if I pleasure myself to your voice?
Well, do so.
All right. How did it all start?
My experiences started when I was 7 years old, man.
Right.
And ultimately, I'm sure that my experiences happened at that time so that I would one day meet stupid motherfuckers like you.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then be awakened out of a nice sleep after having been up most of the night working on my cymbals.
You know,
by some fucking idiot who is wasting my valuable time.
Just like a black guy to sleep past noon, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's just like a shit-eating redneck to call a black guy.
Yeah, all right. Wait a minute. Fuck you. All right. How many alien figures can you take?
I got you, didn't I?
Yeah. Would you be willing to let Paul Schaefer dress up as a Martian and fuck you in your black ass?
Yeah. You cocksucker.
Right.
You lame butt-fucking cocksucker.
Yeah.
I hope that we shall meet whoever is making this call, because I will rip you another asshole, you cocksucker.
What does alien semen taste like?
Phantasm. Is it a nightmare? Phantasm. Is it an illusion? Phantasm. Is it an evil?
You have to take me home.
But why?
No questions. You must take me home.
Phantasm. Is it a fantasy? Phantasm. Is it alive?
There was nobody driving.
Whatever it is, if this one doesn't scare you, you're already dead.
All right, guys, it's Phantasm, 1979. This is one trippy as hell movie. It stars Michael Baldwin as Michael Reggie Railing. I mean,
That's like a porn star, Reggie Railing.
he's railing away.
You know? Brock Landers and Reggie Railing.
Bill.
And Bill Thornberry is wild.
Well, just in case nobody knows, Angus Grimm was in I Sell the Dead, The Awakening, and that's his two movies besides Phantasm 1 and 2 that he's known for according to IMDb. And he died this year, in January, on the 9th. Do you want to start this off by talking about Reggie Bannister's Skullet?
In honor of Reggie Bannister, we should call ourselves the Skeleton Crew.
All right.
Now, should we all shave the tops of our heads?
Yeah, we're all going to sport skullets for the entirety of this retrospective.
All right, do you want to do it? I got the buzzer right here because I had a feeling that you were going to say this. So let's just go through with it, guys. I really think we should shave skullets into our head.
I'm down.
Okay.
All right, you first, Dave. Ready?
Yeah, I'm born ready, man. Yeah.
Here you go, dude. Don't move. Don't move.
Ah, fuck that, dude.
Stop. You're messing it up.
I can do it myself. Just hold up the mirror.
No. I'm going to hold the bottom of your chin.
We have Jamie here. Why can't she? She's better with hair shit.
I'm almost done.
Girls are better.
All right, look in the mirror. What do you think?
Yeah, Jamie, what do you think? I trust you. Oh,
All right, well, Jamie, you go next. Ready? Just close your eyes. Wait, put your head against the wall. I don't want you to move. Here we go. What is in your hair? Why is it so hard and sticky?
Oh. Sorry.
Hair gel.
You're jamming up my buzzer. Okay, wait, hold on. Almost done. What do you think?
And Alex just said we weren't dedicated.
We're dedicated.
We're all sporting skullets for this show.
We're also very punny.
Okay, so let's get into the review now.
Funny.
Now it's time to get into the review.
So we're bald skeletons. We're skeletons with skullets now.
Oh, you two are. I'm not doing it.
We're skullingtons.
Hey.
Yeah, of course you're doing it. Hold his ass fucking
Hold
down.
it. Yeah.
No, wait, get off! Get off of me!
Fuck that.
God damn it.
See? We're gonna do you like fucking they did Trump at WrestleMania that year.
You're getting hair in my mouth. Can you tilt my head the other way?
There you go. Jamie, get him.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, I look like an asshole.
No, you look good.
Yeah? Oh, good, thanks.
Better than I do, that's for sure.
Well, you both look better than I do.
I think you look, actually, if I were you, I would just continue this look forever. I mean, Hulk Hogan did it. And nobody said anything about it for 20 years with a guy running around a wrestling ring with a fucking skullet. Nobody thought that was weird, but okay.
Well, and he was a blonde, so I guess if he can get away with it, then I can too.
Yeah.
I'll just wear a lot of red and yellow, and nobody will say a word.
Exactly.
Wait, imagine if Hulk Hogan shaved his head bald and he was walking around bald all these years. That would not be a good look on Hulk Hogan.
Dude, he had millions upon millions upon millions. Where are your fucking hair plugs, asshole? Like, why did he not? At least, look, he was a millionaire by the time it still looked okay. Even in WrestleMania 3, he had enough hair, and he could have thrown in a couple more plugs there. Nobody would have noticed. And he could have maintained what he had, but he just let it go like an asshole. He looked like an asshole.
Well, damn him. Damn him for not giving a shit about his appearance.
He looked like Humpty Dumpty with that head.
But he was rich, bitch.
He looked like Bozo the Clown. Yeah, no, he was rich, and he only had a ring of hair around his head. I don't understand. Okay, guys, so we all have skullets. We encourage you to do the same thing. Just pause this, and please shave the top of your head off, and leave the sides and back. All right, guys, so the movie starts off with a couple having sex. The guy finishes up, and it is a really weird sex position. The girl was actually laying flat on top of him, which makes no sense. I mean, I guess a girl could be on top of you and not be sitting straight up, but I've never had it happen. But okay, let's not get too picky.
Incidentally, that was Bill Thornberry, even in the first scene, because the woman playing that role refused to have fake sex with the guy that was supposed to be the first guy to get killed. So Bill Thornberry did the stand-in.
Yeah, wow, that's weird. Much like the Black Widow, he finishes, and then she takes the knife out and stabs him in the chest and kills him. We don't know why. So then,
we see that it was actually the tall man, and
oh, Jamie.
Jamie, he says. It happens in the first fucking 30 seconds.
How am I spoiling anything?
Oh, wait, did we see that it was him then?
From 7
Yes.
to
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, they show you that it's actually him. And that was in it to me. That just gives it a whole creepy, like a whole nother level of creep. Is just like, what? Okay, you are the tall. This is the thing that you can do to lure people in, so you can kill them. Is you gotta dress up. Okay, I can understand looking like a woman and getting their attention, but you have to. Do you have to go that far? I mean, I don't know. That's just kind of creepy to me.
He's like, man, I love tricking these guys into killing them, but God, sucking their dick is the worst part about this. Like, why couldn't
Jamie.
Yeah, why couldn't he just walk up to a guy and just by the element of surprise stick a knife in his chest? Like, why does he have to fuck him?
Like, hey,
Yeah, like, hey, listen.
Hey, sailor, come join me behind this tombstone, and then just, stab the shit out of him,
Right. I'm not sure I'm grasping.
He's at number one. He's an alien, so who even knows what he really looks like? He's not really a man. He looks like one of those green things on The Simpsons, for all we know. It's just a fucking.
No, it's true, and we don't know that he actually that they have a whole gender thing, and I mean that requires thought, though.
Right.
And it's easy. That's,
at the time when you see that part, you don't know that though. When you don't.
Right.
When we first see that, you just suddenly see a creepy man face there, and you're like, what the fuck?
Well, the one thing they don't put any thought into is the wardrobe, because she wears the same goddamn dress every night.
Yeah. Yeah, I pointed that out there, and Brian says, doesn't she have a different face?
At least she let him finish.
She's like Einstein. She has all the same dress in her closet.
That's true, she did. That was very benevolent of her to let him get done before she killed him.
Right.
So, it's not so bad. You get to do that, and then if that's the last thing I do before I die, well, then whatever.
Well, as long as I'm like 75, then I won't mind.
Well, it happens so quick. What's the fucking difference?
Well, I have some other stuff I want to do first that I'll forget about when I'm dead.
I don't want to die. I'm just saying, if I'm gonna die young, let me do it right after fucking. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, if I'm gonna, yes.
Yeah, for not even fucking, finishing the act. Let that be the last thing I feel before I feel like 3 seconds of pain.
Right. I just don't want to die in front of the computer. I'd rather do it during actual sex.
Yeah.
So, I guess this guy's name is Tommy, who gets killed. So, it's Tommy's funeral. Jody is freaked out that the tall man, who is the name of the villain, he lifted a coffin all by himself. And even to a young boy like Jody...
Michael, not Jody.
Michael. That is an odd thing to say. Jody picks up the same girl at a bar, brings her to the same exact tombstone somehow.
That's the spot.
Yeah, man. That's where he's comfortable.
Yeah. Oh, let's do that. The kid, Mike, distracts him so he doesn't get killed by this dude.
Yeah, because he fucking sees the Jawa and gets scared shitless.
Yeah, right. The Jawas start chasing him.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, then his brother starts chasing him with the tall man's panties in his mouth.
Matt Wiesel
would be very happy about this movie because the Jawas were actually not. They did not cast midgets to play them. They were actually played by children, so they didn't have that bizarre walk, that waddle that midgets have. And I guess they couldn't hire them because they can't run either, right? Because they have that weird shifty run where their whole body goes one side, like it's like that weird. It's as if you're running on stilts or something.
Well, haven't you ever seen Time Bandits?
Yeah.
They're running in that fucking thing, remember? They're running all over.
Maybe it was cheaper, too, because, I mean, most of the stuff on this film was done by people he knew, or, yeah, I mean, it was done on the cheap. It only had a $300,000 budget, and, like, his mom did a lot of the special effects and stuff. So maybe it was just, like, neighborhood kids that they knew, and they're like, hey, come put this on and run around, you know? I don't know.
Well, supposedly, Dave made a joke about them being Jawas, but, supposedly this was filmed before Star Wars came out. So many think that Star Wars stole the look of the Jawa from these guys.
Yeah, except I never saw, I mean, I've heard that too, like that theory, but I've never seen an instance in which they would have the opportunity to see them. I know that I've heard, rather, that Don Coscarelli, like after Star Wars came out, he was kind of like, damn it, because he knew it was coming. Like he knew that the people were going to do the comparison, but they were separate but equal. Like it just happened. It was, no one ripped anybody off. It just happened to be. But I mean, it's kind of that curse that you suffer when yours comes out later, is that people are always going to say one way or the other, somebody ripped somebody off. But it just didn't. They just happened to be like that.
It's kind of like that song, Whoop, There It Is, or Oop, There It Is.
Oh, yeah.
You guys don't remember that? There were two songs that came out almost the same time. Woomph, There It Is, and Whoop, There It Is.
Right.
Yeah, shake the dairy, yeah. These three words mean you're getting busy. Whoop, there it is, hit me. Whoop, there it is. 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 All the fellas where that booty at. Whoop, there it is. Everybody where that booty at. Whoop, there it is. One more again, where that booty at. Whoop, there it is. All my friends where that booty at. Whoop, there it is. All the fellas where that booty at. Whoop, there it is. Everybody where that.
Right, and there were two Macarinas that came out at the same time, remember?
Yeah?
You don't remember that? There's two Macarinas where the vocals are different, it's a little bit different. Yeah.
Wow, how weird.
That I don't remember. And Alex, you're bringing that up just explains why I see the two different versions of T-shirts. Because I was always like, wow, they just can't decide how to spell that, can they?
Oh, wow.
What, T-shirts?
Yeah, of Whoop, There It Is.
Of Whoop,
Oh!
There It Is. Like you'd see some of them say, but were there really two different songs? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh. But I did notice
what
that
if they sound older? You know, and the other one Macarena. And there's one has like a noise of like shuffled cards in the background going, and one of them has yeah. They're slightly.
That's weird. This kid's working on his car. The car starts wobbling around, and his best idea is to stay under it. The Jawas knock the car over. He seemingly gets murdered. I'm not even going to start to explain him getting squashed under a car, but he's fine thing. I guess it landed a centimeter above crushing him on any level. I don't know.
He's a skinny kid, that's all.
Yeah, sure. It looked like it crushed him when they showed it. So
I never thought that. Wow.
Yeah, oh yeah. So the kid goes on a chase in the funeral home. All this takes place in the funeral home, by the way. That's where this tall man. And by the way, Angus Grimm was 6'4", because we keep calling him the tall man.
He's like Wiesel.
Yeah, he is, but he wore lifts that made him 6'7".
Also, they cut his pants intentionally shorter so that it would look like his pants were too short, thereby giving him the impression that he was taller.
Like Frankenstein.
And yeah, and then, like if you see that scene, one of my favorite scenes, and I think everyone's favorite scene, is when he's walking through downtown and he has that weird, that arm swingy gait.
Yeah.
And it's just, he slows down, Coscarelli slowed it down, so he looked very imposing coming down the street right before he had that sort of orgasmic ice cream truck moment there
where
when
he smelled something or whatever.
Yeah.
Smelled the cold. That's what I always took it as, just the cold.
Yeah, I mean, it just, and you can tell he has that moment there where he's just like Lurch. But what I think is, what I love about the Tall Man is this is Coscarelli's interpretation of how a child views adults. So, I mean, this whole thing is like a nightmare from a kid's point of view, and how kids deal with grief and loss and death, and how they deal with living in a world populated by grown-ups, and they see them as imposing figures. So he wanted to make the Tall Man seem as tall and imposing as possible, because that's how a child would see it from that point of view. Now, why he went with a 13-year-old kid, I don't know, because it seems like you'd go even lower than... I want to say I heard somewhere that originally the kid was supposed to be 9 or something like that, which would kind of make a little more sense if you want to approach that whole how the child views adults kind of thing, because once you hit 13, it's not quite that... and there's not that quite as big a difference. You know, you're approaching manhood yourself. So...
well, I still see adults that way.
Yeah. But I like that. I like that this is how that was his point of view there. You know, the kids, they have to deal with loss. And I mean, in this film, Michael has a lot of loss to deal with. You know, when we first meet them, his parents had died 2 years ago. Then they have a very close friend of the family that gets killed. And then we get to the end and you find out something else. And then, I mean, it's just, he is surrounded by loss of important people in his life. And authority figures in his life. And I just think that's really, that whole theme is something that you don't see approached a lot. And I think it's a cool way to look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, kid goes on this big chase in the funeral home with the Tall Man. This weird guy who's sort of like a servant of the Tall Man grabs Mike, and then Mike ducks down, and one of the Tall Man's balls hit him in the head. No? Nothing? Okay. So, these balls are silver, and they have these, like, prongs sticking out of them. And they just fly through the air. I guess they're controlled by the Tall Man because he's an alien. And then he just jams them in people's head. And it's cool because after it gets in your head, it drills into your head. And then the blood pumps out through the other end of the ball. So it stays in your head while it shoots the blood out. That was pretty cool. And that's very good for, like, $2.80 of, special effects that they were using.
Oh, they did great with that budget, though, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
I think. And just... Come on, man. They're fucking seeing that spear fly and freaking come at them and hitting and blood squirting out that way. Man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love how there's like 6 gallons of blood squirting out of this thing, and then, there is nothing on the floor. There's nothing on the walls. There's nothing anywhere. But clearly it was just like a geyser. Just, the guy even does this whole wiggle thing. I mean, so... like blood should have been all over Michael. It should have been everywhere, but there's just nothing. Like, well, they just, they didn't want to dirty up the place.
Yeah, right. Because they didn't have the budget for a cleaning crew. So, Tall Man chases the kid, and the kid slams the Tall Man's hand in the door. Then he chops his fingers off. That's pretty ballsy. So his fingers, he bleeds like orange, like the guys from Halloween 3, right?
Yeah, I mean, it always reminded me of, like, mustard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he bleeds honey mustard, and look, and too bad he didn't have chicken fingers.
He had Tall Man fingers.
Yeah, he had Tall Man fingers. It'll be a pretty small meal. So his finger is in a box, that old gag where you put your finger through the bottom. We all did that as kids. That's what they do in this movie. And what's awesome is that his finger morphs into a giant fly, and that whole finger thing is when Jody started believing him too. So then the Jawa jumps on Jody when he goes to investigate after his brother tells him about all this crap. So later on, there's a cool scene where Michael is kidnapped by the tall man, and he shoots his way out of the hearse, jumps out of the back window, and it explodes into a ball of fire. Now, do we learn in the future why tall man, and we could even talk about the end, because I think everybody's seen this, how is it that he could survive that, and then boulders dropping on him and stuff? Like, just because you're an alien, why does that mean that you don't get hurt or die?
He can change into that chick, so think about that. He could do anything he wants almost.
Well, clearly he can't die if he's in the 5th movie.
Well, that's enough. Dude has power to make people think when they look at him that they see a chick. How about that? That's some fucking strong power right there. So,
yeah,
when you're dealing with this type of supernatural shit.
He is a chick. I mean, you're not fucking him in the ass and thinking it's his twat. He actually must be a chick at that point.
He's an alien. He makes the person think that they're having sex with a chick. It's like a fucking mind control.
Yeah, but when his balls get in the way? Dude, he has to be a chick. It actually,
He's a hermaphrodite. Get the provisions, hermaphrodite.
He's a shapeshifter.
Don't call me any of your mother's pet names. I just keep rattling off Stand By Me since you started it. So
stupid. Okay.
It fit, though. It fit.
Mm-hmm. Jody is looking for a jar of pennies. No, I was kidding. Is there anything to talk about Reggie Bannister thus far?
He plays a mean guitar.
Yeah, what about that song in the beginning?
Acoustic. Yeah, man. They're fucking... That's what's great about this movie. You would not see that in a movie nowadays. I love that scene, man. It's just a simple thing, 2 dudes hanging out, and then, granted, it's a little cheesy by today's standards, but I think it's fucking great.
I'm working on it. I'm just sitting here at midnight, and I've been sitting here till noon. You see, my lady left me lonely. Yes, she did. Baby left me blue. We're hot as love,
And, he's like, we're hot as leather. Now, is Hot as Leather the name of the band, or was he making a statement? No? Nobody?
I thought Jamie might know.
I thought she'd at least have an opinion.
What did you say?
Hot as leather. You know how he says that at the end? He goes, we're hot as leather. After they had that jam session?
Yeah.
Do you think that he's just making a statement, or that's their band?
I don't know. I just always assumed he was making a statement, but
okay, yeah, it's cool.
Maybe that is their band.
I don't know. Doesn't that remind you of like a Guns N' Roses, like an Unplugged song, like side 2 of GNR Lies?
I actually like that song. What's funny though is, and I do like it. I like the music especially, but I kind of get into it. But what's weird is I always then tune out. So like halfway through the song, my mind wanders until the movie starts up again. So I don't even think I've ever noticed him saying that hot as leather line.
Well, there's one thing I always wondered. How come the guy says we're hot as leather?
No, Alex, they just let him in. I want to know why he comes in the house talking about how the kids are going to get out of summer school. It's going to be a really hot one. The ice cream is going to go like fast. I forget the words that he uses. Anyway, meanwhile, they're all wearing long pants and long sleeves. And in the next scene, Jody is wearing a fucking jacket. And I'm like, I thought this was the middle of summer and it's supposed to be crazy hot. Why are you dressed like that?
Maybe it's in Buffalo.
It is, man. Everybody's high. Maybe that's the tall man's powers. Maybe he has them all thinking he thinks that it's summer. He makes them think that it's really summer. That's how strong he is.
Because that would be a thing that you should waste your power doing. What would be the point of that?
I could do anything. I'm going to make everyone think it's summer.
They're going to walk outside inappropriately dressed. It'll be hilarious.
They're all going to have to go back in the attic and get the box of their winter clothes now.
Yeah. Hey, if I had those powers, I would do it just for amusement.
Look at this asshole wearing jeans in July. I did that.
And then turn it back on, and then all of a sudden they're fucking dying of heat. Like, snap your finger and they're unhypnotized. Like,
now he's running back for his shorts. Oh, God, this is worth it. Yeah.
Hey, I tried to make it funny. I don't know.
You got a whole bit out of it.
That's all. Yeah, see?
All right, so now they go back to the funeral parlor yet again. Hey, guys, just tell me, does every movie, is it all in the same funeral parlor?
No.
Okay.
No. But what I did notice about this one is that this movie is a series of going to the funeral parlor, something scary happens, they come back home. They go to the funeral parlor, something scary happens, they come back home. They do that like 17 times. It's just back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. I mean, that is what this movie is, and it's kind of weird in that respect. I've never noticed it before, but when I was watching it for this show, I'm like, God, all this movie is going there and coming back. That's it.
It's like, all right, guys, we got to do something else in this movie. How about we send them back to the funeral parlor? Okay?
Right? I know where we haven't been, the funeral parlor. No, we've been there. Well, all right. Well, we'll get, there will be a portal. We haven't done that.
Okay, let's go to the funeral parlor and find the portal now.
Well, eventually the tall man gets tired of them coming there, so he starts going there.
How about in this scene they go to the funeral parlor? That was the last scene. Oh, well, what do we put in between that?
They come home.
Okay. Now, did you get the home scene? Okay, let's go back to the funeral parlor.
Then Angus Scrimm's like, fuck you guys. Let me just go there instead.
Yeah.
That's what he probably told Coscarelli. He's like, come on. How about you just let me go to the house a couple times? All right. All right.
Okay, now here's a question I have. Now, it's not as profound as the whole, hot as leather question or...
hot as leather. You know how he says that at the end? He goes, we're hot as leather. After they had that jam session?
Yeah, I'll admit that. It's not that deep. More. But this is what I want to know. So we discover that he's taking the dead people and shrinking them down to little dead midgets and enslaving them and stuff. All these little dead midgets do is transport other dead midgets. That's all you see them doing is carrying those things. Carrying barrels with dead midgets in them.
Right.
So why do you need to keep making more dead midgets if all they're doing is transporting the dead midgets that you're making? It doesn't seem like you need them now, does it?
At least the Oompa Loompas made chocolate.
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
They're the workers.
Do you guys know how to make cotton candy or anything?
And
well, they're just the workers.
He's like a hoarder. He's like a dead midget hoarder.
Do you guys know how to make soda? Something? Nothing, no. It's like, what the fuck is the purpose, you guys?
Maybe they sell them. Maybe they sell them to other planets. It's a business.
All right, maybe. It's a whole slave trade thing.
Yes,
it's
a business.
See him walking, marching through the sand. Oh,
yeah.
I'm that type of guy.
So ridiculous. So ridiculous.
So, now wait a minute. Now there's 5 fucking movies here. You're telling me, Jamie, what you're telling me is that we have no answer for this? Because I was actually honestly wondering what I'm looking at and what's the point. And I said, well, there's 5 more movies.
Okay, well, I'll tell you this much. He never wanted to do a sequel. To him, this movie was it. That was all there was. He thought that it was done. It was complete. Like, he had no ideas. When Universal approached him and wanted to do part 2, he had no idea what to do with it, which is exactly why when he finally came up with something to do, it's so completely different in tone and everything else, because there was no sequel. This is it. You were never supposed to know anything else. Like, so he kind of had to create a mythology.
So he got a 6-pack and sat in front of a typewriter.
And by the time you get to Zombie Cop, wow. I mean, he is just all the fuck out there. This series goes into some really bizarre territory.
Really?
Is that what that thing is? Remember I said that thing looked like the creeper for Oblivion?
What is
that
it?
What this shit was? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about, Jamie?
Oh, I don't know. I can't wait to watch these now.
Something in Oblivion looks like the creeper, kind of. They show him like and he's above Reggie Bannister. It's like he has his
oh yeah, like are they outside?
I don't know. It's just like it's a little. It was a fucking minuscule thumbnail picture.
Well, I mean, just they're in later on in this series. You got kids with like deadly frisbee weapons. You got like deadly hookers, zombie cops. I mean, I'm telling you, this crazy. This shit goes all over the place.
It does. Man.
But anyway, my point of saying that was that as far as he was concerned, there was no more to the story. This is it. This is the story. We have no idea what they're doing.
Okay, so I'm going to guess that the 3 hours they cut in editing answered what the Jawas were actually here for.
They were here to collect dead midgets because he's a dead midget hoarder. That is the only thing that makes any sense.
I think I got a sign outside my house that says dead midget story.
He's like, we got all these barrels, we got to put something in them. I know.
So the tall man kills Reggie Bannister. I think he rammed a knife in his head or stomach or something.
Yeah, the stomach. It should have been a slow death, and he was there. Yeah, man.
So Reggie's dead. The tall man falls in a mine shaft that I zoned out. I'm sorry. I think that Mike and Jody set this thing up that he would jump, because he jumped over it, and then the other guy seemed to be up there ready to roll a boulder into it. So
yeah, man, camouflage. They get into this whole fucking thing.
Really?
Yeah,
like a wild coyote thing.
Right.
Yeah, right. I'm surprised the boulder didn't say Acme on it.
He's running in place for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Before he falls.
He went beep beep.
And then he holds up a sign that says
Yipes or
oh yeah. And he's falling with a giant sucker.
Yeah, sucker. So the tall man falls in the shaft, and he's so tall his head still sticks out of the top. No, I'm just kidding. And they drop boulders on it, so he's dead. Sort of.
They should have done like Sleepaway Camp 3. They should have put him and got the lawnmower, right, Alex?
Yeah. Yeah. I love how she couldn't move out of that pile of garbage. She could have easily just sat up and walked away. But she just stayed there as if she was tied. And why wasn't her arms tied behind her back? That makes no sense, because isn't that the whole point of it? Isn't that what they were doing?
That was the game, the trust game.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did that happen?
I don't know. We should do a Sleepaway retro.
Let's do a Sleepaway Camp retro on the Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, we'll bring it back to number 1 again.
Yeah, and you two haven't done it, actually, on the show, so...
That's the magic word, Sleepaway Camp retro.
I might remember all my old jokes.
Yeah, label this Sleepaway Camp retro instead of Phantasm when we were talking about clickbait.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, show 21 and 2 and I think 3 is all Sleepaway Camp. And then we have another one in the 80s, I think 89, called Camp Arawak. Or is that 92? Something. Go look at it.
Awesome Whack.
Awesome Whack, that's it. So Jody is dead. Oh, right, okay. I wrote, is it a dream? So what am I referring to? Is Jody dead? How did I forget the ending of this? Is
Jody dead? Is that what you said?
He gets killed somehow.
Well, that's the little spin they threw at the end. That fucking, this is all a dream, and
yeah. What was that all? Yeah, that's why I wrote that. Is this all a dream? What is this?
Well, see, that's why this should have stayed at one movie, because it would have been amazing. Another movie that should have stayed at a one-off and just, oh man, because that's trippy. It's like fucking Nightmare on Elm Street type shit.
Yeah, fucking Universal with their gotta have a franchise bullshit.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the thing is you don't know. Like, we just went through all of this, and then Jody's sitting there talking to Reggie. Michael's sitting there talking to Reggie, and Reggie says, Jody didn't get taken by the tall man. Jody died in a car accident. So
Right.
you're like, oh, wow, Jodie's been dead the whole time, and this is all a dream.
And you're also wondering, why the fuck is he talking to Reggie? Isn't he dead?
Yeah, exactly. Then
he
Michael
only
goes
died in the
upstairs. Yeah, then Michael goes upstairs and boom, tall man. So you don't know. That's what I love about it, is this whole thing is so nightmarish and dreamlike. You don't know which end is up. You don't know which shit's real. You don't know which shit's not real. It just,
It's awesome. That's Italian too, Jamie, if you think about it.
No, it
plot's like
totally
an
is.
Italian movie.
Well, that's what, that was one of my points in that it is, and how Italian it is that it doesn't really make any fucking sense. I mean, if you...
It's like Fulci. Totally.
Fulci? Oh, he fools you? So you call him Fulci? Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's an art form in Italy. Fulci. Yeah. It is.
Like Evil Dead Trap. You think you're, which is
Right.
an Asian film, but it's heavily Italian inspired. So you're watching that all along. You're like, oh, this makes total sense. Wow, look at them making a movie that actually makes sense. And then in true Asian/Italian fashion, at the end, they're like, nope. And they switch it up on you at the end.
Man.
So, that's why it just doesn't feel like the traditional American narrative.
Does this get answered in part 2? Do we find out, is Jodie dead? Do we
Is this going to be like of soap? Do we find out?
Do we find out next week? Did Jodie die? Why the fuck is Reggie here? And why is the tall man alive? And why is he pulling people through a window like Freddy Krueger?
Well, there's a lot of things we find out in the second one. You'll just have to wait and see.
Okay.
Yo, and think about that. That's how powerful the tall man is. He's even more powerful than fucking Freddy, if you really break it down. Like we were talking about before, with he can make things happen. If he's just fucking with him this whole movie, and it's just like almost like Mike is in some type of hell, where the tall man is just gonna fuck with him forever. That's crazy.
You see, when he gets that, when Michael is looking at the thing and he has that vision of like the horse and carriage.
Oh, right, yes. There you go, Alex. I was going to ask you about that. It's just like Stephen King's It, just like the movie, ain't it?
Oh, yeah, they totally stole that from it.
Yeah, isn't that some shit?
Or no, it would have stolen it from this.
Right.
Why, because it came out 11 years later?
But
it's awesome though.
One of the things I really do like about when we get later into the series is sort of like the time thing. We do a little playing with the time period thing, and I think that's kind of fun. But anyway, that made me think of that. But yeah, Brian said exactly the same thing about it.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't write that down. I'm slipping, but don't worry, guys. I'm going full force for part 2, 3, 4, and 5. And Dave and Jamie are always full force. So
you're saying you haven't tried until now?
I haven't tried in 4.5 years.
Backup singing group that wears tank tops and has jerry curls. That's what you're saying?
I'm just saying I haven't tried in 4.5 years. I'm going to give it a go. I'm finally going to get paid for something that I do best.
Yeah, I got a master's in business from an Ivy League school. Why? Because I worked my ass off for it, and I put my nose to the grindstone. That's why I get to live a nice lifestyle.
Did anybody get my full force reference?
Yeah, full force. Yeah.
Okay.
Lisa in a cold gym with full force.
They haven't tried in 4.5 years either?
I get high-class pussy, he gets low-class pussy. I have high-end jobs, he's working the common blue-collar guy because he didn't go to school.
For the backups.
Seriously, look up Full Force, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. That's it. It's just funny. But anyway.
Girls. Listen, hold on.
I'm not going anywhere because this is fun for me. I might be fired up. I might be a little bit hot under the collar, whatever you want to call it. But I have ambition. You can't buy it. I have talent. You can't get it. I have drive, which you'll never see it because I do care. That's why I do it. And you know what? You got to be a little bit fucking nuts to devote your time and spend your own money. Thousands of dollars at this point right now because you want the best site. You want the best show. You want the best people around you. And that's how it's goddamn done. And you better take a page out of every show and take notes and try to be close to me, because if you get 5% like me, you might be on the road to success. Right now, you're just trying to be something you will never be able to be, and that's successful.
what happened to that girl? And does the grandmother just sit there all day waiting for someone to call with fucking candles? Just sitting there?
For $6?
Just, is that their
Was
life?
the hearse made of napalm?
But what happens to the girl?
I don't know.
She goes there, she screams. We never hear what happens to her. A completely dropped thing.
Oh, yeah.
No idea.
Yeah, fucking crazy. And I noticed something. There's an awful lot of crickets in this movie, don't you think?
You mean like the ones we're hearing after you just said that?
No, man, there was crickets constantly. I never
Oh,
saw
yeah, I noticed that. I
more
did.
crickets in it.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Wasn't Mike funny because he was bossing the girls around? He was like a little Loomis. Did you guys know?
Yeah.
Remember when he's like,
Drive.
"No, you must take me home now." Yeah, everything. He got bossing him around the entire fucking time.
Yeah, now.
But they didn't listen, and that's how they
No
got
questions. You must take me home.
Yeah.
killed. Yeah. Now, who drove the fucking car? Who taught the Jawas how to drive, speaking of Michael Myers? Who taught...
That's another thing, Brian. He's like, who is driving that car? Is it the girl going, ah, just driving? I'm assuming she got taken. Like, I'm assuming they got her because we don't ever see her again.
Yeah, there's two. One of them does the pedals, and one of them stands on top of the other one.
Oh, I thought the Jawa just tied a block to his foot and did it that way.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Who's driving the other car in Salem's lot? That's what I want to know.
Right. And why did the car burst into flames?
Because it was made of napalm. That's
right. And fucking Reggie, what a deadeye he is. He has one fucking shot and he gets the ball.
Yeah, right?
Amazing.
Yeah, who knew an ice cream vendor could be such a dead shot?
Yeah, right? Fucking Coscarelli. He did everything for this movie. He directed it, he wrote it, he produced it, he fucking photographed it, and he edited this fucking movie.
Yeah?
It's totally his baby.
Yeah.
It's all him. The soundtrack, it's like Jamie was saying before. The soundtrack was Goblin-like, Suspiria-like. Right?
Yeah, totally. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I listened to this soundtrack. I haven't in a while, actually. But I used to listen to this soundtrack when I was writing or doing anything like that. And it's just very atmospheric, very moody, very cool.
It's great. And there's different incantations of it. Like, you hear a guitar version of it in the bar, and you hear a different instruments playing it throughout the movie, just like the general theme song, I'm not gonna but yeah. But man, it's really great. I am a big fan of this movie, and I'll just sum it up. I'll say 4.5 out of 5.
Damn. You gonna give us on Blu-ray? Is there a Blu-ray box set for this?
It's coming.
When 5 comes out, you mean?
Eventually it's supposed to be coming, but no, it's not out yet. Right now only 2 is out, and they're working on 1 now. What's his name is? Abrams. The 4K transfer, the whole 9. So
yeah, this whole series has been screwed as far as like releases have gone. 2 has always been on its own separate thing because 2 was Universal, right. And so and everything else was Coscarelli. So they've always been separate, like a rights thing, and it's always been a hassle. But I think they're trying to. Yeah. I love how with like when you said, Dave, that he did everything for this movie, cracks me up that it's like written and directed by Don Coscarelli, produced by D.A. Coscarelli. Totally different guy, we swear. Different guy altogether. Like, we know it was you, man. It's all right.
Edited by Don C.
Oh! There's something else.
Donald Coscarelli.
Donnie. Fucking... Oh, the screwdriver. Remember when he puts the screwdriver in the door?
Yeah.
When he's trying to lock Mike in the room, Jody?
Yeah.
Dude, my parents had that exact same screwdriver set. Orange with the black.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, I can't wait to show it to my brother. Just because I'll say, Mike, does that screwdriver look familiar?
Did they lock you in rooms with it?
His name's Mike, too. Yeah, they probably did lock him in the room with it.
Should have.
And that white room is fucking awesome. The climax of this film, when they get there, it takes you to a place you never expect to go, I think. And the look of the mausoleum is, when I die, I told my wife, I don't care what happens to my body when I die. I say this shit all the time, but I'm just being an asshole. Honestly, if I could pick where I wanted to go, I would go in that fucking mausoleum because it's amazing.
You want to go into a mausoleum? Wow. I don't want to see. I feel like people could tamper with me in there. That
one. You want someone to tamper with you?
You know what I always wanted? I always wanted to. I told Tiffany, when you bury me, I want to be. You got to put a cell phone in my coffin in case I wake up. I want somebody to come and get me.
Good idea. Good call.
Nowadays, that's rare because most people are embalmed when they're buried. So you're a little late. If you.
So yeah. 4.5 out of 5.
As for me, I also give this a 4.5 out of 5, and just the very same reason. I just knock it down just a tick because there are some moments that drag just a little, and there are little wanky things here and there, but for the most part, I really do have great affection for this film, and I always forget exactly how much until I watch it again, and then I'm like, you know what? Damn, I really love this movie. So I say 4 out of 5. I mean 4.5 out of 5.
Wow. First time I ever watched it was about 10, 15 years ago, and I think it was one of those movies where it was a friend showing it to me, and I know I definitely fell asleep, and it was one of those movies where I woke up right towards the ending or something, and I was like, he was like, so what do you think? I was like, yeah, it's really good. That was the worst movie. Like, what is this guy showing me? And so when I went into this, I was thinking it's going to be really boring and just not interesting in the least. And I was pleasantly surprised. I really dig the whole atmosphere and the people in it, and I liked the killer in it, and I loved the trippy quality. But I would really like to watch this again before I give it a real rating, because I liked it so much. I'm probably going to do it a disservice, but I'll say now 4 out of 5. But I could see that going up, and it is a damn shame I've not put this in my rotation for the last, and part 2 probably. I'll probably regret that too when I'm done watching it. But this should have been in there. I'm an idiot. What can I say? I wonder what else I'll discover as time goes on, but yeah.
Hey man, it's okay. You can thank the Skellination. They did something for you. You know, they recommended that we do this show, so...
Yeah, I can thank Jared for making that poll.
Right. There you go. Thank Jared. Thank everyone that...
Who voted?
I mean, when we get to part 5 or 4...
Then I'll hate you all.
So happy, but... I don't know. But still, at least it brought this movie to your life, which we can all agree is a pretty solid movie, at the very least.
Yes, and thank you everybody for being so participative when I made the video, asking everybody if they want this retrospective. Here you go, guys. The Skeleton Crew.
Sorry, Jerry.
Yeah, I know. Jerry's like, please don't waste my time. Jerry also only watched part 1 once, and he fell asleep, and he never watched it again. So he's exactly in my boat, so maybe I'll talk to him before the show comes out and tell him. Alright, guys. Well, for the rest of you, thank you for listening to the first installment of our Phantasm retrospective. 1 movie per show, unless we really have nothing to say about part 3 and 4. In that case, I'll probably combine those into one big show, and then make 5 its own show. I don't know. Who cares? Play that shit, Buggerhead. Get out now!